Yeah, I figured those guys got a handle on it.
Rules and regulations, but it's a there's 30 pages. I just had somebody said it could have been 130. A lot of rules and regulations here.
All right, coming up on that time.
Guests and staff, please sign in, please.
We've got a form,
How many we got? It says present. I'm- Supervisor Elliott, are you connected?
Yes,
I am.
Okay,
but you're not marked present. You have to mark yourself.
Mark present. Supervisor Tunis, Mark present.
Mary, mark yourself present.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say, I see
And
green. Don't you see green?
Lochran isn't here. Is he
I thought once you
coming?
said
Lochran?
sign in, I hit that.
push it up.
Okay. And Simeon is here. Give him time to.
They sent out presents.
Would you just press your button and mark in? Thank you, Supervisor Johnston. Mark present.
Let him get his take his coat on.
Thank you. All right. We have 15 present. We have 5 absent at the time. I know Supervisor Stuckman is on his way, so we do have a quorum. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the agenda. I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Cleveland. All in favor indicate by voting your ballot. We have 15 yes, 0 nay, 5 absent, so the agenda has been approved. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of February 18th County Board meeting. I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Hulshoe. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 15 yes, 0 nay, 5 absent, so they have been approved. Moving on to communications, you have them in your book.
First one is the 2024 MS4 Annual Report from Land and Water.
We'll place that on file, and I suggest you all read it. It's lengthy, but it's important.
And the second communication was a resolution from the City of Wausau supporting continuation of the Knowles-Nelson Stewardship Program.
I'm going to refer that to the County Parks Committee, and they can follow up with a support. There is a possibility that they will disband the Knowles Foundation, so let's hope they do not. Is there any public participation? Nobody? Okay. So tonight we have special business. We are going to talk about aging and dementia, and Nancy Krueger of Aging and Disability Resource Center is going to give the presentation.
Good evening, everyone.
Can you hear her?
So everyone should have grabbed this group of handouts that we put together with our ADRC report. If
doesn't sound like
provide here in Calumet County. So the first brochure is just our dementia care specialist brochure, so that's my job. So it's a brochure explaining what I do for a job. So it describes the mission. I'm not going to read it to you guys are very capable. And then the support services we provide. But basically some of the services we provide is I can do information assistance for people who need information assistance for dementia care specific services. I can meet with caregivers, care partners, one-on-one, or other family members to teach them more about dementia so they understand what the person with dementia is experiencing to help them better care for the person with dementia. And then it's also to actually educate the community and the people in the community about people living with dementia as well. So the community is more open and understanding of when people with dementia are coming to their either places of business or activities or whatever else like that. So those are the main missions of the dementia care specialists. The next handout is our Project Safe Response handout. So we launched this last year, so in 2024. Actually, our first registrant registered on April 18th in 2024. I just looked that up today, so about a year ago, which was pretty exciting. So this is a partnership between us and then the Sheriff's Department and then all the police departments that touch any part of Calumet County. So that also includes Nash and Kill, parts of them are within Calumet County. We have a shared SharePoint, and so anyone who has either someone living with dementia, any other mind cognitive impairment, or maybe a child with autism that might wander or get lost, they can register this person on our SharePoint. So they can go to the website and fill out the application, or I've helped people with the application myself. We get a most recent picture of the participant, and so that goes on a SharePoint that I have access to, and then all the police departments have access to. Whenever I add someone new to the SharePoint, I email whatever agency it applies to. If it's someone from Brilliant, I email the Brilliant Police Department to let them know someone new from their jurisdiction has been added. Or the Sheriff's Department, I email them. So we can open communication that way. So as of today, we have 19 registered. We did have 20, but someone moved. So, and then I follow up with people annually so I'll be doing my first one next week, but I follow up with people annually just to make sure all the information's current and see if we need an upgraded version. So that's how that works. And if you have questions at any time, just let me know. The next handout is Ageless Grace. So this is one of our newer programs. This is a mind-body kind of physical activity program. It says fitness, but fitness is usually stays done in a chair. You'll get to do one activity with me tonight. I know you're excited. But basically, Ageless Grace helps keep the brain healthy and maybe help prevent from losing that memory loss. And it also works on all kinds of all the other bodies. We know exercise is good for us, right? We've heard that 1,000 times. And we've also heard maybe crossword puzzles or anything, or doing a puzzle, anything like that. Word searches are good for our brain. But actually, the newer research is showing that the latter, so doing those puzzles and word searches, just makes you better at doing puzzles and word searches. Because once you get good at it, you're good at it. And really, we want to challenge our brains every day, just like if you want to get better at balance, you want to challenge your balance, or if you want to get stronger, you have to challenge your muscles. So the newest research is showing you actually want to challenge all three at the same time. That's what gives you the most bang for your buck. So doing exercise while challenging your brain and your balance all at the same time. And that's why Ageless Grace was born. So it uses all functions of your brain throughout these 21 tools. I'm only going to make you do one tonight. And then in return, you get all those benefits. Other things that offer the same, so you don't have to do an Ageless Grace class. Tai Chi, for instance, is a class where you're moving, you're challenging your muscles, balance, and you're really using your brain. So there are other ways of going about it. The Ageless Grace is a new program that I was trained in that we offer throughout the county. So I'm just going to do one tool with you. Okay? It's called Gentle Geometry. I'm going to play a song and take you through it quickly, just so you get an idea of what it looks like. Right? So we do it kinds of neurons right now. All right?
Ooh.
Square with our elbow. And then a triangle with that foot again. It's a little easier than the circle, but not really. All right, you get the point. So as you can see, we were moving. We're doing full range of motion, moving those joints. I wasn't telling you how high or low to do it. You were doing it within your own range of comfort, but also challenging our brains and most importantly, laughing. So when kids and their neurons are firing and they're forming their brains, it's because they're learning through play. So it brings that play aspect back to our lives so we can all learn again and fire those neurons again through play. So that's how that program works. And then the last handout goes through our other programs that we offer, some in collaboration with the Fox Valley Memory Project. So the Memory Cafe, top left, is where the caregiver and the person living with dementia come together, and we just do different activities or have different speakers. For instance, one time we did the Dog Days of Summer, and we had a lady who has hospice dogs. The dogs themselves are on hospice. And she brought them, and so everyone was petting a dog, and we talked about our favorite dog memories, and she made edible dog treats for both humans and dogs, and so we shared dog treats together. It was a lot of fun. Last month, we just had Jean Henneman from the Office of Blind and Visually Impaired. She brought all kinds of fun activities for us to play with different sunglasses or audiobooks or other sensory things that she can not only just offer caregivers and the participants, but also it was just fun for people to see things that they didn't know were out there, options out there. So it can go from wide range of we're just playing games or a fun speaker. That's how a memory pathway works. MindWorks on the other side, right, is also a collaboration with Fox Valley Memory Project. That's offered in Chilton on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 to 2. That's more of a respite program. So you would drop off the person living with dementia. There they provide programming that helps give education and just brain activities. And they offer lunch, but also gives that caregiver that 3 hours of respite twice a week. So they can either get errands done or just have some time for themselves. Or below that, attend our support group. So we purposely put our support group at the same time as MindWorks. So if people can't get to support group because they love them and someone watch them, then while they love them at MindWorks, they can come to support group. So our support group is the last hour of MindWorks. So we timed it so they can come and then pick up their loved one. And then finally, we have True Alto, which is a free online resource for just family caregiver resources, and that's not through us necessarily, but through the state of Wisconsin. And then we have other family caregiver support programs through the state websites offered on there. And then finally, what we really wanted to talk about today is a new program or simulation that we just purchased. It's called the Dementia Live. And so we got a grant through the Community Area Health Foundation through Chilton Extension. Yep. And they helped purchase this, and let me show you. We set up an experience where people who either know someone who's living with dementia, or maybe have people living with dementia come to their business, or you're caring for someone with dementia, it helps them to fully understand the experience that the person living with dementia has. So it's not for someone who has memory impairment. That would not be appropriate. For anyone else caring for someone with memory impairment or who's curious what that looks like for people. So we set up a room with different tasks. We might have towels or a pillbox or a jacket, and then we give them all this equipment. So they have to put on these plastic gloves and then these white gloves over the plastic gloves. That mimics the sensory that goes away. So one of the first things to go are your skill fingers when you have dementia. So you're unable to do simple tasks. That's one of the first parts of the mind to go. So that mimics that. Then we give them fancy glasses that mimic tunnel vision. So peripheral vision goes when you're at dementia. So it gives you more of a tunnel vision. So the participants wear these glasses. And then finally we give them these headphones to put on that either have, like you said, a psh, 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 psh noise in the back, or they're playing just like a background radio and then occasionally a loud ambulance will come on to startle the people. And that's because people with dementia, their hearing is going sometimes, not always, depending on the type of dementia, they are hearing things or hearing a static. But other times, they're just not hearing as well. And I just talked about their vision, so if they don't know where they're coming, they don't really know where sound is coming from, and they are more easily startled. So that's what that mimics. And then we put all the equipment on them, and then you, with the headphones on already, on purpose, and then we give them a list of 5 tasks to go complete in the room, and that's it. I can tell you those tasks once, and you go in the room, and you're in there for 7 minutes trying to complete your tasks with all the sense cues taken away. It gives people a great idea of what it's like and how confusing and scary and anxiety it is to have dementia. So it's very eye-opening. Some people say they've been caring for someone with dementia for 8 years, and that 7 minutes taught them more than any book or any video they've ever watched. So it really is a real eye-opening experience. So pretty soon, we're going to have a room set up permanently, and then we're going to offer it to all of you, to all the staff in the courthouse to go through, so everyone has that experience to go through it. Any questions?
Incredible.
No, I'm sorry. It is not. It's for anyone who is in a caregiver role, so it's not just for people with mental illness. And thank you for clarifying that. Any other questions? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. All right, thank you.
I think that's it.
All right, moving on to resolutions. We have Resolution 2025-01. I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And would you read the resolution, please?
Resolution urging Governor Evers and the Wisconsin Legislature to support the county courts, introduced by the Public Safety Commission.
All right, and Supervisor Steer, would you speak to this resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes. Before we get started there, I want to tell you the WCA had a steering committee about this, and so that was part of the legislation was $70 million towards the 2026-2027 budget. And the county courts are woefully underfunded, especially when it comes to public defenders and that. We have many people in jail that can't even get anyone to represent them because of the cost. There isn't money there. I think it's imperative that the state puts that money in action for this. Thank you.
I'd just like to report that there is a separate bill aside from the budget that is moving through with the court funding, and they're presently looking for co-authors of that bill. So it is starting to have some movement, and hopefully it'll keep moving and get to the committees and get passed. So are there any questions regarding that resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, and we have 4 absent. And that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2025-2.
Resolution designating April 21st through the 25th, 2025 as Work Zone Awareness Week in Calumet County, introduced by the Highway Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Tunis, as Vice Chair, would you please speak to this resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an annual resolution, and I'm requesting that, asking you to support this resolution. It's something that's important to support our highway workers. Thank you.
And Chad, do you have anything you want to add? Yes, please.
Thank you. I'll just give thanks for introducing it. Do this, and just a real brief background. This is a national initiative put out there by our national government. It filtered down through the states. Our Wisconsin DOT does a tremendous amount of work on it and puts a lot of effort into it. Ultimately, from DOT, it filters down to the counties. Annually, our department has not a little flyer, we basically around town, I think it's posted around the courthouse here in a few areas, supporting that. The state also has an event next week, it's a week-long event. I believe they kick it off on Monday in Madison. Governor Krueger speaks, our president from Wisconsin County Highways Association speaks, and a bunch of others as well speak at that event. Then they have something special, I think, every day, they do some social media posting, that kind of stuff. You'll see in the attachments, if you look at those, there's a tremendous amount of work zone accidents that happen every year in the resolution. I think we had 4 reported last year. There was a couple more that I think I probably didn't account for that DOT had some other reports on. Luckily, there was no fatality. We have had a fatality in Calumet County in the last 2013. So thank you for supporting it, but that's really the background. One other note, this isn't related to work zone, but I did hear an interesting statistic. I had some employees had some training last week in Wausau related to signing and marking, and they had a speaker there that talked about highway accidents and crashes in general, and they said that our nationwide fatalities on a 5-year average are up about 3,000 fatalities in the nation. Look at all our national, from 42,000 up to 45,000 fatalities nationwide on our roads. So it's a staggering number, it almost doesn't seem realistic. But that's what this resolution supports, is trying to make these roads safer for specifically our highway workers and our construction workers out there, but everybody else that's also involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Can we vote on this? Supervisor Schwallenberg, you have a question?
I'd just like to make a comment. I do believe there's a billboard going out of Chilton past the Dairy Queen that has the picture of that employee. It was waving in the wind. They were trying to get it up the other day, so I just went by. I'm assuming that was him. It looked like him.
Yes.
And I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember his name, and I knew him.
It was Derek, wasn't it?
Derek Burkholz.
Yeah, Derek
Burkholz.
Burkholz.
I wasn't working here at the time, but I believe the family has possibly a foundation or an account set up that they use some of that as well as your help and what that is in the county. Thank you. Just think about it.
Okay. All right, do we vote? Huh? All right. All right, if there are any other questions, please vote your ballot. We have 15 yes, 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2024-2025-4.
3.
No, excuse me, dash 03.
Resolution authorizing participation by Calumet County in the state-funded snowmobile trail program, introduced by the Parks Commission.
All right. I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Schwallenberg, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This also is a yearly resolution that comes up, and this is the fees that are paid by the snowmobiles when they buy snowmobile or license them, and it's to maintain the trails. I believe our money is turned over to Calumet Snow Trails. They do our grooming for us, or if we need to fix a bridge. The last couple of years, unfortunately, they haven't had a lot of use, so thank you.
All right. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2024-4.
Resolution approving amendments to Town of Brothertown zoning ordinance introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Johnston and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Huffberger, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The town of Brothertown has gone through the process of updating their existing zoning ordinance, which includes changes focused on signs, accessory buildings, allowable uses in certain districts, and other minor amendments. Since the township administers their own zoning, they are required to send the ordinance amendments to the county board for final approval and resolution.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent. That resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2025-05.
Resolution amending the 2025 budget for the additional cost to Blacktop at Calumet County Park, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an issue that clearly we needed to do the park resurfacing. The costs have gone up, inflationary costs have gone up, so we're short $48,000. I understand also there was a miscalculation in the amount of asphalt that would be required. But bottom line, instead of $114,000, which was budgeted, we need an additional $48,500 to complete this in 2025. And I hope you support this. Thank you.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Supervisor Schwallenberg?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. There are 3 different spots in the park that need to be blacktopped. We put up a new bathhouse, and there will be a dump station as you're coming into the park. That is now completed, so that will be blacktopped. Then as you come in, the first campgrounds that are down below the lake, that road has become very bad. So that's another one. And the upper park, if anybody is parked up or camped up there, gone up there all these years, that's a 1-lane road. And now that the bigger trailers have discovered how nice it is to go up there and camp again, we're widening the road, in other words, so 2 vehicles can go through. Thank you.
Supervisor Johnston?
I was just curious with the increase in costs, has this been recorded at all? That's a pretty substantial increase.
Yes, it has. Adam, would you want to speak to this, please?
Yes, the price that you see is increased due to the quote for 2025. So we budgeted numbers we received from the highway department in 2024. When they opened up their bid for asphalt costs, with additional work, this would be the new cost that we just received 1 month ago. So it has been recorded, and the highway department would be recorded.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution -06.
Resolution amending the 2025 budget for costs for the Sheriff's Office equipment, introduced by the Administrative Services Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is basically an error in the budgeting process. The budget package that you saw that in preparation for the budget included these expenses in the Sheriff's Office, but with the switch to the new system and with our Finance Director, these specific items did not carry over to the budget. So although we thought it was in there, when it came time to cut the checks, it's not there. So we need to dip into general funds and pick up another $48,000 to make us whole. So we thought we approved it, the numbers just didn't carry over, we apologize, and moving forward, I hope you approve it. Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent. That resolution has been adopted. All right, moving on to Resolution 2025-07.
Resolution amending the rules of order of the county board, amending Rule 5 meetings, county board meetings, introduced by the Calumet County Rules Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And as chair of that committee, Supervisor Stuckman, would you talk about that resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody. So the Rules Committee was approached. As you know, we only meet a couple times a year. And since our first meeting was done this year, we were approached by several county board members regarding the start time to the, I gotta sign that yet, sorry. We'll get that. The start time of the county board meeting. If you remember back to the April meeting of last year, there was a little confusion around the start time. There was amendments made and people were not exactly clear on what they were voting for. So I think typically the Rules Committee would probably not take this up, but given the, like I said, the confusion around what was actually being voted for in April, this last April for our organizational meeting, right? We thought it would make sense to float the idea back out there. We had another county board member bring it up at a previous meeting about start times, so we thought it made sense. So the Rules Committee came out, and what we are proposing to the board is a 4 p.m. start time for meetings, excluding the April organizational meeting and the November, or that'd be the budget meeting in November. So that's kind of what we're proposing to the board. And keep in mind, it is a 2/3 vote to change this rule. So if my math is correct, we would need 11 votes tonight to make that happen. So any questions?
Any questions?
I have a question for you, Ty. I thought we voted on this a meeting or two ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Madam Chair, I thought we had a motion a month ago on this same issue and it was voted down. Am I incorrect in that? 2 months
Correct.
ago?
You're correct.
So that doesn't matter.
Correct.
Thank you.
It's being brought back
Again.
by a
Okay,
committee by resolution.
thank you.
Supervisor Hufsberger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, I was approached last night by a real live constituent, and she said, it sure would be nice if we could go to a 4 o'clock county board meeting. I had not yet reviewed this. I didn't know it was coming up. So I went to my big song and dance, and she said, and I agree with her, what she said was, well, then people at work, but they could take off work if they have to, and they could go home. People that didn't have to go to work could just get it done a little earlier in the day, and I agree with her. I think it's a really good idea. I think I'm very excited about the idea of going to a 4 o'clock starting meeting for our county board meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hufsberger. Supervisor Voigt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I disagree. I think 4 o'clock is a horrible time. Parents are getting their kids home from school. It's one thing if you are retired, sure, 4 o'clock sounds fabulous, but if you are in the workforce, you shouldn't have to take time off of work to come to a county board meeting. And like I said, 4 o'clock, that's a horrible time for parents. So, thank you.
Supervisor Elliott, or did you, all right, excuse me, Supervisor Miller, where are you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, 4 o'clock wasn't good for me either because my wife and I are kind of interested in taking care of grandkids sometimes when parents are both working, getting them to events, so that's gonna be kind of a regular thing for me, so I would probably be absent at any 4 o'clock meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Miller. Supervisor Schwallenberg.
I agree with Supervisor Miller. I happen to take care of my grandchildren too. Get them off the bus sometimes, make them dinner. This, does not work for me personally. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 9 yes, 7 no, 4 absent, so it needs a 2/3 vote, so the resolution has failed. Right. Moving on to ordinances. There are several ordinances here, and Supervisor Hufsberger will speak to each one as we go, all right? We have ordinance 2025-01.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And Supervisor Hufsberger, would you speak to this ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Calumet County is proposing to make minor amendments to the farm market standards of the zoning ordinance, which will allow for the sale of products manufactured with farm-grown items. Examples are bakery items, maple products, fruit and vegetable products. Additional amendments further clarify enforcement language and the increase in the percentage of the merchandise that can be sold at the farm market.
Okay, are there any questions regarding this ordinance? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2025-2.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Charlestown, property of the Calumet County Historical Society Incorporated, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Johnson. And Supervisor Hufsberger, would you speak to this ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The Calumet County Historical Society is requesting to rezone approximately 2.16 acres from the General Agricultural District to the Heartland District. The property has been used as a museum by the Historical Society for about 50 years. The rezoning will fix the current legal non-confirming status of the property.
All right, are there any questions regarding this ordinance? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2025-03.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Charlestown, property of Donald Bonlander and Mary Jo Anhalt, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Elliott. And Supervisor Hufsberger, please speak to this ordinance.
Donald Bonlander and Mary Jo Anhalt are requesting to rezone approximately 15 acres from the General Agricultural District to the Small Estate District. The rezoning will allow for the creation of a third residential parcel and is consistent with the zoning ordinance and the draft of the 2024 Comprehensive Plan Preferred Land Use Map.
Okay, any questions regarding this ordinance? If not, please vote your ballot. Supervisor Steer, would you please vote?
Yes.
Thank you. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2025-04. And I have a motion by Supervisor Johnson and a motion by Supervisor Miller, and the clerk will read that ordinance.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Woodville, property of Doug Thiel, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, and Supervisor Huffsberger, would you speak to this ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Doug Thiel is requesting to rezone approximately 11 acres from the exclusive agricultural district to the Heartland District. The rezone will allow the future property owner to operate an auto repair business. The property is adjacent to the village of Hilbert and identified as a transitional zone in the draft 2045 comprehensive plan preferred land use map. The transitional zone is intended for a mixture of development adjacent to incorporated municipalities, including residential, commercial, and industrial.
Okay. I have a motion by, I guess I have that. Motion by Supervisor Johnson, second by Supervisor Miller. Is there any questions on this ordinance? Please vote your ballot. All right, and the next ordinance is 2025-05. Or did we just have that?
Nope. Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Woodville, property of Elizabeth Yost Revocable Living Trust, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Huffsberger, would you speak to this ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. George Yost, as part of the Elizabeth Yost Revocable Living Trust, is requesting to rezone approximately 100 acres from the exclusive agricultural district to the exclusive agricultural preservation district and approximately 4.7 acres to the agricultural residential district. The rezoning will split the existing buildings from the ag land on the property.
Any questions on this ordinance? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 no, 4 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports. If you have anything to speak, please press your request to speak button. Supervisor Schwallenberg, it's not coming up on my sheet.
No, you're
Sorry.
blank. You're blank there, or we're blank here. Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I don't think I'm going to steal some of the administrator's thunder, but here we go. He has pictures of the office in Appleton that we purchased and the work that's going on about it, unless Matt is here to talk about it. But I drove by there today, and part of the facade was up. It looked very nice. And you said we should be able to move in June? Right? Okay.
We're in there.
We're
We're not,
in
we
there.
haven't moved out.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. We are seeing clients while
Yes.
this is going on. I asked that question before. So they're being seen during the construction. So we also went through our annual report. There was an error that needed to be fixed in it, so it's not available. It'll be available soon. Our staff does an excellent job of getting that report together, and they have a little contest for pictures that's going to go on in there. And it's a good resource to explain what actually goes on in the Human Services Department and Health Department, excuse me. That's right, that's the other thing that's got to be changed, is the health put on the sign, yeah, so. As far as the parks are concerned, we talked about the blacktop. Ledgeview there are pictures of that on there too. The drone was really nice, whoever put that up. Gives us a better idea of what's going on. That probably won't be open until July or August. There's nobody there now. All the turtles and snakes and everybody are out at County Park if you want to see them. But our ash tree harvest is hopefully completed but they haven't been able to remove the logs that are on Ferry Springs down on the end of the property there because of weight limits on the roads yet, although the lumber is gone from inside the park in that cul-de-sac there. It looks, you can really see the houses, it's really quite bare, but it will grow up like the other one does too. And we are going to be putting in some campsites that are going to be tent sites in there, but they will have water. They're called something different. And they're going to be working on the trail that will go from County Park to Ferry Springs. Over the years, that is what we wanted to do, so that eventually, if you wanted to get to High Cliff from County Park, you could do it that way. So that's all, I think, Madam Chair. Thank you.
All right, I just have a couple things. As you recall in the letter tonight, we have two retirees. We have Brenda Gielich, who's got 21 years in as administrative assistant at the sheriff's office, and also Randy Bates, who is 12, and he's the dispatcher. Those two people are going to be greatly missed because we worked with Brenda for many, many years on our committee, and she did an outstanding job. We also had Student Government Day here on April 7th. We had about 35 students from all the schools except for New Holstein. I just wanted to indicate that Mark O'Connell from WCA came and spoke to the children. He talked about lobbyists and what their job is down in Madison to get certain bills passed through the legislature. Also on that particular day, if any of you listen on Monday to the WCA leadership broadcast, it was broadcasted live from Calumet County in one of our rooms down the hall here. Tammy Baldwin was a guest speaker, and she touched on many of the things with regard to federal funding and how it may affect some of our projects that we have going here in our county. Also, I have been meeting with the various counties through as chair of the East Central Regional Planning Commission. We're talking about some of the goals that were set through a program that we went through to reevaluate how we're doing our job and what's needed to be a better planning commission. And one of the things that came out in some of the meetings was that they wanted someone to help them to write grants. That seemed to be the biggest thing of all the counties around. We don't have the expertise to do that. We don't have the time, and they needed somebody. So as a result, we were very fortunate to hire a woman from Shawano County, much to one of our commissioners' regret. And she is now going to be contacting the various heads in the counties and talking about grants, what grants are available, what do you want to write, and she is going to take the opportunity to start writing some grants for the various municipalities and villages and towns. So if any of you do have any ideas or things that you're thinking about that you could get a grant for, if you'd let me know. If she doesn't get to you, if you'd let me know, I will direct her to you. So that's all I have for that. Is there anyone else?
I have my
Supervisor
mic on.
Hulshof?
Yes. Madam Chair, I'd like to talk to you about the Brilliant the Brilliant Library Garden. It's coming together very nicely. It's going to be a garden out in front of and side of our library. It's going to have a little stage on it for people to perform. It's going to have some playgrounds. It's going to have some gardens. And they're going ahead right now with the sidewalks and the electricity. So,
And are they going to have some type of an opening?
yes, it's not going to be done for another year
A
or
year, okay.
half.
All right, that's a nice idea.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. You have the administrator's report, and we do have a reappointment of Joe Miller to the Veterans Service Commission. His new term would expire April 14th, 2030, and so I would like a confirmation of that reappointment. So I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Diedrich. So are there any questions regarding that reappointment? Please vote your ballot. We have 15 yes, 1 abstain, 4 absent, and that appointment has been reaffirmed. All right, our next meeting date will be in May, and it will be at 6 o'clock. Seeing that we've completed everything on our agenda, it'll be May 20th. Seeing we've on our agenda, I will adjourn this meeting. Please drive safely home, and happy Easter to everyone. Thank you.